All right, we're going to continue on. Welcome to the guys coming in. And if you are looking for updates and like the news on Gonzalo Lira, we did a part 1. You can just find it in the channel. It's just a video before this one. So if you are, we're just going to chat after we went through all that information, as I had internet problems. And we're just going to wait a couple minutes, see if we got a few more people. I'm just going to play a song, and then we'll get right into it. If you guys have anything you want to chat about, and also I'll drop the link for the Discord as well. And if you want to come into the voice chat, we can chat later. Pin that. And this is for Brian Stelter with a wig. Welcome back. Sorry about the internet connections earlier, but we'll go from here. That was White Town. I'll Never Be Your Woman. Just going through the old Brian Stelter with a wig here. She's still going. She's not liking that she's being called out. She's kind of acting tough, but it's not really working out too well. See, there's a few people chilling in the Discord or whatnot. It's pretty interesting. See new fresh faces in there. Hold on. Someone posted this. Let me save it. Say hello in chat, guys. I'm feeling pretty lonely here. Get the chat going if you have. What were we talking about before? We were talking about the Talmud. Like how it's not the Bible. Robert McKenna, good to see you. Welcome to the channel. Have yourself a wrench. Leading North, hey man, good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, White Town. Yeah, it's been a long time since I heard that, but it reminded me of that when I saw this Brian Stelter with a wig. Probably gonna have a shorter one today because we did the other one and we dealt out all the information, and this is just for the people that want to chat after. And you're more than welcome to bring up whatever you like. I don't think we have any additional information on Gonzalo Lira. Once again, for those that didn't make it to the last one and they're just checking in on it, he disappeared on sometime after the 15th of April. There are reports that he has been beheaded and things like that, but we don't really have any confirmation of anything. And we don't know where he is, but it's not looking good. So that's basically all we have. Let's see. Wow, I'm such a boomer. It takes me a while to get this up. All right, refresh. Okay, almost there. So yeah, this is the narrative that we're all supposed to be following, and then we never we're not supposed to question it lest we be disappeared. Tanya Shalupa says, this Ukrainian beauty blew up 52 invading Russian tanks. Yes, okay. I'm sure she did. I'm sure she did. Nothing but gush, right? Nothing but gush. What Nani says, hello. Good to see you, What Nani. It's been a while. Gabriel asked about swastika in NATO flag earlier. I'm aware of Adolf Heuschinger. Just wondering, is NATO Nazi remnants, or was Nazism itself part of the plan? All right, so let me take the chick's down. She's really not that good looking. What happened to her nose? What's up with all these, like, the Ukrainian hotties that they keep showing? I thought Ukrainians are supposed to be really good looking. What's going on with all of them that they show with, like, the weirdest noses? All right. This is what I think has a lot to do with this whole fascist stuff in with NATO. Operation Gladio. This was, I think this was revealed in the church committee. I'm not sure if it was revealed before that. Could be wrong. Anyways, just real quick, I think this looks more or less okay. I know it's Wikipedia, but my other sources are quite long, so I don't want to get into all that. So I just wanted to find like a nice little compact version of it. Seems to be okay from what I'm seeing so far. Operation Gladio is the code name for clandestine stay-behind operations of armed resistance that were organized by the Western Union and subsequently by NATO and the CIA in collaboration with several European intelligence agencies. The operation was designed for a potential Warsaw Pact invasion, Warsaw Pact being the Eastern Bloc, like Russia, well, Soviet Union and its satellite states, and conquest of Europe. Although Gladio specifically refers to the Italian branch of the NATO stay-behind organizations, Operation Gladio is used as an informal name for all of them. Stay-behind operations were prepared in many NATO member countries and some neutral countries. During the Cold War, some anti-communist armed groups engaged in the harassment of left-wing parties, torture, terrorist attacks, and massacres in countries such as Italy. The role of the CIA and other intelligence organizations in Gladio, the extent of its activities during the Cold War era, and any responsibility for terrorist attacks perpetrated in Italy during the years of lead are the subject of debate. Researcher Francesco Cacciatore, in an article based on recently declassified documents, writes that a note from March 72 specified that the possibility of using Gladio in the event of internal subversions not provided for by the organization's statute and not supported by NATO directives or plans was outside the scope of the original stay-behind and therefore never to be considered among the purposes of the operation. The pressure put forward by the Americans during the 1960s to use Gladio for purposes other than those of a stay-behind network would appear to have failed in the long term. So, I think this has a lot to do with what's going on in NATO and all that kind of stuff, and why there seems to be such a comparison that you find with Nazis and NATO itself, along with the operations that are used by it. You have that. So you can see where NATO and CIA are working together as well. The other thing as well, if you haven't seen this before, although I would say most people that watch this channel have heard of this one. Paperclip, Operation Paperclip. Operation Paperclip was a secret United States intelligence program in which more than 1,600 Nazi German scientists, engineers, and technicians were taken from former Nazi Germany to the U.S. for government employment after the end of World War II in Europe between 1945 and 1959, conducted by the Joint Intelligence Objectives Agency. It was largely carried out by special agents of the United States Army's Counterintelligence Corps. Many of these personnel were former members, and some were former leaders of the Nazi Party. The primary purpose for Operation Paperclip was U.S. military advantage in the Soviet-American Cold War and the space race. Lots of stuff. It's not just that stuff either. You will find, if you go into MK Ultra, you'll find a lot of these people. Creation of LSD, and there seems to be a big tie with Switzerland as well. That was part of it. That was part of it, and this is where it all starts meshing in together between the CIA, the rest of the military, NATO, and a lot of mind control, things like that. You should see, I think I saw this already, going back to Gladio. The U.S. State Department published a communique in January 2006 that stated claims the United States ordered, supported, or authorized terrorism by stay-behind units and U.S.-sponsored false flag operations are rehashed former Soviet disinformation based on documents that the Soviets forged. Yes, I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure you never did anything all bad at all. Now, they don't specifically state Ukraine here, but where could I find... Someone posted this before. Hold on. CI.gov. All right. This is called Project Aerodynamic. And essentially, this was 1953 that this was a memorandum for, but it, I believe, started in 1951. Yeah, To date, the project has been successful in dispatching agents into the Ukrainian SSR and has established WT contact, I'm sorry, I don't know what that is, with 2 of the agents dispatched. The field of intelligence procurement has been limited to situation reports and a few items of military importance. What if I look up Banderite, UH? Okay, so this is a document that talks about teaming up with anti-Soviet Ukrainian resistance groups, and one of those was the precursor to the Banderite Azov Battalion. You know the red and black flag that you see flown? It's not ANCOM, it's for the Banderites. I think the UHB is what these guys were called. And this is a CIA document. It's on CIA.gov. I don't know if it shows up there for you. Here we go. Communications, direct clandestine meetings between case officers and ZPUHVR personnel. It's just one of the resistance groups there. Or use of courier or routine matters. Ukrainian SSR, two-way WT, clandestine airborne and overland couriers. So we have the CIA, a document that was released stating that they were in contact with these groups in order to foment anti-Soviet activity in Ukraine. Right? And I don't know if there's a direct link to Operation Gladio itself, but the actions that were in use here are very much the objectives that Operation Gladio were looking to do. Okay? So you will find that the NATO partnered with fascists, which were like really, honestly, I mean, like I'm not a fan of fascism, don't get me wrong, but communism was stopped in its tracks by fascists, right? Like that, they were the primary anti-communists, okay, in Europe. If it wasn't for them, Europe may still be communist to this day. Places like France was quickly heading in that direction. Okay, Germany had its own issues with it. There's still heavy amounts of socialists and stuff like that that are in these countries, but they probably would have prevailed with their, their forced revolutions had it not been for the fascists, right? So NATO viewed the fascists as their best chance to stop the Eastern Bloc, right? And I would assume that they probably made their symbolism something that the fascists could get behind in order to garner support. That would probably be my Occam's razor on that. It's a good question. There's a lot to it. If you want to get into more on Operation Gladio, let me see if I can find the... it should be on my channel, actually. I probably reposted this. Hold on. There's another good one. CIA's organized crime. Oh, I didn't... see if I can find it. Operation Gladio. Here it is. Okay. Operation Gladio, the unholy alliance between the Vatican, the CIA, and the Mafia audiobook. It's quite long. It's not. It's about 12 hours long, all of it, with both parts. But worth your time. That's part one. And you can watch it on your own time. It's just an audiobook, so definitely worth it. I should share that on my channel over there. Thought I already had, to be honest. Yeah, aerodynamic.
Operation Gladio.
Oh, shush you. Yeah, Gladio is very important to look into because this is what their plan, their subversive plan to stop the Soviet Union from advancing westwards, from being expansionist. Now, I don't know how expansionist Stalin really was, to be honest with you. I know, like Trotsky was. He was like an internationalist, a pure internationalist that did want to spread the revolution everywhere, right? Stalin seemed to be more nationalist. Not that I support either. Don't get me wrong. For those that are new to this channel, I'm a right winger, okay? I friggin' hate commies. Or at least I hate communism. I think that many communists are just fooled, right? Like, I think there might be a good, what do you call it? Good intentions behind your motives to be one, but I don't think that there's much good in communism. But I'm not going to sit here and say they were trying to take over the world like the CIA was saying. I'm almost more, I have more propensity now to believe that this was a lie done by the CIA in order to advance their operations when they were converting from the OSS to the CIA. All right, let's see what else we got here. Wasn't aware Gladio or aerodynamic. Yeah, man, check it all out. It's all there for you to read. Oh yeah, I'll post aerodynamic in the chat for you as well. Here you go. We have an extension of World War II. You know, I heard someone mention that recently. I forget who it was. And I don't necessarily disagree with it. This really does seem like it was kind of set in stone to happen. When you really look at Gladio, it makes sense. It's like the whole reason for these groups to exist was to oppose Russia or the Soviet Union or whatever. So like this was already written on the wall. And it just hasn't played out yet. Because if there wasn't this opposition, there would be no need for NATO. Fascists are just nationalist socialists. Yes, for the most part. Yeah. There's a centralization of business and government with fascism. The way that I look at it, you know, communists want to seize the means of production, right? Or socialists want to seize the means of production, whereas fascists wish to vassalize them, right? Like with the pharmaceutical industry right now that we're seeing, and their cooperation or collaboration with governments. I think that there's a great case to be stated that that is fascist, right? Like the actual fascist term. Most people like that you know, most NPCs that you talk to, when you mention fascism, they're just like, oh, like Jew haters, right? And that's all that they think about it. And it has nothing to do with that, honestly. Even Nazism, like, yeah, in order to have these types of totalitarian or collectivist governments, you need to present a common enemy, right? And Nazism focused on the little hats, right? But that was just one small part. It was what they used to motivate people to be part of this system, this collectivist system. Nazism was socialist, anti-Marxist, though. It's important to state that. But at the same time, they retained so much of the socialist ideology that I don't understand how you can call it right wing. Like, everything was nationalized. Everything. And if it wasn't nationalized, then it was like the buddies of Hitler. Or like, you know, or high-ranking officials that owned everything. As long as CRP was using the internet or his cell phone, he was a sitting duck. Yes. Yes, he was. He was indeed. He was indeed. There was another journalist shot in his car recently in Kharkiv, I think so. We saw one from her son, but I don't think it was Kharkiv. Someone sent me a video of that in the last chat. So I think that's what happened there. Patrick Lancaster would never do what Lira did. He takes risks, but at least he's embedded with the DPR and Russian forces. Yes. Yeah. Patrick, you can tell he's quite the family man. Not saying that CRP wasn't. But he's looking to stay alive. It does seem that way. Although he certainly takes his chances, man. Like, he's out there almost on the front lines. Right? Like, that guy's got balls of steel, too. Both of them do, just in different ways. But yeah, Patrick is always with the army, which is smart, right? Like, why would you isolate yourself? Why would you isolate yourself? If you're looking to stay alive, anyways. Valery Kuleshov, Ukrainian bloggers shot in Kherson. Okay, one sec. We'll do a quick check. He worked for the militia and after leaving the job followed his passion for blogging and traveling. He is well known for covering life at Kherson after Russian invaded Ukraine. This probably isn't the best source, is it? Shot to death this morning. Commander of the local National Corps, according to reports. Kuleshov was shot in the morning in a car parked next to his block. So this is Kherson, not Kharkiv, right? Okay, yeah. All right. You made that distinction. Sorry. Spokesman of the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, Alexander Motuzyanik, told us that the Russians will demonstrate their capture of Donbass and the land balcony to Crimea. This means more innocent people will have to fight for their lives. Okay. Any better sources? Let's go over to Brave. I need to change over my preferences. You will never be a woman. This is on live UA map. So they were claiming it was Russian. What's the source? Pro-Russian blogger. Valery Kuleshov. Rusinski Zagarbinki. Russian invaders have intensified inspections in Kherson. So why would they kill a pro-Russian blogger then? Yeah, I'm not too sure. Something don't make sense. Is this the one who told what kind of occupiers are effing friends of the inhabitants of Kherson? Okay, so he's ticked off saying the occupiers are friends of Kherson. So yesterday I posted this fuck, is what he calls him. That it is a separatist shit. And his already, maybe I also have the ability... as a guy from the Snake, I accept orders. These people are so radicalized. So radicalized. It's disgusting. It's like you're reading into the pits of hell when you translate Ukrainians. Why gangster showdowns glue politics well, except perhaps from the Kremlin TV and Crucified Boys. Svitlana. I looked at his Facebook and YouTube and did not understand why he's called pro-Russian. There are no obvious facts of his pro-Russianness on social networks. Okay, 4 likes, 1. Got any more information on that, by the way? Hey, Brittany. Good to see you. Assange is a CIA stooge. A limited hangout is what WikiLeaks is. Ask Avidan, he will say the same. I tend to think the same thing. Although I think there are a lot of information. There is a lot of information on WikiLeaks that is not like WikiLeaks itself. There's a lot of information on WikiLeaks that tends me to believe that's the real deal. And it seems to me like Assange and the whole personality cult for or against him is the limited hangout. You get what I mean? Like they needed a personality in there to make it about the personality and not about the information in the information. Or, sorry, the information in question. My bad. I'm trying to go through all the chat at the moment. I don't know about the practical side of what Gonzalo did. Maybe he made mistakes. If he wanted to stay alive, it is a mistake to stay in Ukraine and talk shit about a clearly fascist or authoritarian government that looks to kill its dissenters, especially ones that speak out as a journalist or a citizen journalist or a reporter, whatever you want to call them, right? Influencer even, whatever, right? That's a dangerous business, okay? I'm not denying that. Just don't tell me that you're fighting for freedom and democracy if you're disallowing dissent. I don't understand why he was so reckless. If he's dead, it's a tragedy, and I feel for his family, but he could have been more careful. Yeah, so think about it. This is why totalitarian governments take over. It's because everyone is afraid for themselves and their family, and they won't speak out. And this is why, like, most of these totalitarian revolutions, right? The ones that we see, most people don't agree with it. They're just afraid to speak out. Okay? If you go, maybe we can watch some of his earlier stuff. His first few videos on the topic were great on Coach Red Pill before he switched over. Now, we've lost a couple of these. Let me see. I think this is the one. Let's at the end is usually when he comes to like his moral statement.
Soldiers who see some civilian with a gun, well, what do you think he's going to do? He's going to shoot him. And that innocent civilian who doesn't even know how to hold the damn weapon is going to die needlessly for nothing.
No, this isn't the one. Sorry. This is they're also good, but I think it's this one.
It's disgusting and despicable as far as I'm concerned. And then there's the other side that glorifies beauty and wholesomeness.
Yeah, I think this is it. He makes it pretty clear that he knows the danger he's in, right? And he expects it to happen, but he has to say something to speak out against it anyways. And he's made the point a few times. Let's just play this since, it's kind of slow in the chat. Let me know what's going on, and I'll get to your comments real soon, guys. But let's play through this because I'm pretty sure the last few minutes of this is great.
it's gonna take me a while to unwind from this, uh, um, this rant that I've been going on. But I just wanted to tell you that the war that's going on, it's all connected. You see, the Canadian truckers, the Russians invading Ukraine, the horrifying things going on with the transgender and all that, and that kind of just bizarre, manipulation of people's bodies in the most grotesque way imaginable. All of these things are connected. And we are seeing increasingly that there are two camps. One is decadent and degenerate. It is a mentality and ideology that believes in fantasies and storytelling and not reality, and glorifies decadence, degeneracy, infanticide. It's disgusting and despicable as far as I'm concerned. And then there's the other side that glorifies beauty and wholesomeness. It's a side that I'm a part of. Because I look at the degeneracy and decadence, the insane permissiveness, the degradation of the human spirit, the belief that human beings are not individuals of value, but rather cogs, replaceable cogs of a machine. People criticize organizations like the World Economic Forum for having some grand master plan for world domination or some nonsense like that. I don't criticize them for that. I don't criticize them for the will to power. That's perfectly normal. All human beings have that desire to control and to have power over others and of themselves, of course. That's normal. That doesn't bother me. What does bother me is that they approach people as cogs, fungible cogs, identical one to the other, and completely divorced from any kind of rootedness in human connections. They don't consider the human spirit. They look at love as mere lust. They don't understand human connection. They don't believe in human connection. They believe that people, rather than having deep-rooted human connections to one another, are really circuits that can be pulled apart and put back together again, like Legos. They believe in the Lego model of people, where all the people are exactly the same, only their colors are different. But they are structurally exactly the same, and they snap together, and they can be broken apart and put into different shapes. No rootedness. It's not organic. It's not wholesome. They believe in fantasies and stories. And I look through social media and I hear all their rantings and ravings and stories that have no correspondence to reality. And I find it disgusting and despicable because it's just an empire of lies. I want no part of such a world. I want to be a part of a wholesome world that seeks beauty and truth and wholesomeness, and seeks to create a world where our children grow healthy and happy, confident in who they are, secure in the love of the people around them. That's the kind of world that I want to be a part of. I want no part of this disgusting, decadent, degenerate regime that is being forcibly imposed on me and the rest of the world. I think it's repulsive and decadent and horrifying. And I hate it most of all because it is filled with lies and it knows no such thing as love. And that's all I have to say.
So this doesn't get in, because he gets into Solzhenitsyn and Gulag Archipelago in other parts, and it might have been earlier in this. I won't go through all of it today. But when you listen to his, I don't know what you would call them, diatribes, I suppose. I'm not trying to say it's unnecessarily verbose. I think he explains himself very well, but diatribes are pretty good to classify his videos. It starts becoming clear that he sees that this is something that is enveloping the world. It's not just in Ukraine, and it doesn't, at least in my interpretation of his diatribes, it seems like to him it doesn't matter where he says this from. Right? He could be in Ukraine, but he could be in another Western country. Right? And this is still going to affect him wherever he says it. If he speaks out against this, whatever you want to call it, the New World Order is what I would think of. He tends to not get into that kind of conspiratorial stuff. In fact, you even hear him say that, like talking about the theories about the WEF and things like that there. He doesn't look at it quite like that, but he does recognize it as some sort of globalist initiative to shut down the human spirit. And it seems like he would take moving somewhere else as a loss, and we cannot afford these losses anymore. You have to speak out about it, and you have to speak out about it now. And if you go into Solzhenitsyn's work, it touches on that too. It's the fact that nobody said anything until it was too late, and he just wasn't going to do that. I really do think you should check this one out. I'm here in Kiev, Ukraine. This is one of his best videos, in my opinion. And we're not going to go through all of it. But I think he does even go through this later on in the video. That he can't not speak out about this while he has the chance. And he knows that he's in danger, and it doesn't matter because some things are more important than personal danger. He got his kids out. He got his wife out. And he's away from them, so they are safe. But yeah, I guess if you're looking at it from a what would be a selfish standpoint, I'm not calling you guys selfish in chat. What I mean is that if you're looking at it from like a selfish standpoint, what he did, sticking around and talking against this regime, it would be stupid. But in my opinion, it becomes more and more clear that what he was doing was of a selfless nature, that he realized that he's not that important, that there is something bigger than him. Now, maybe he's putting on an act. I don't know him. I don't know his heart, okay? I'm just trying to interpret what I see, all right? I want to make it very clear that I don't know the guy. And the world is a stage, and I don't know. I've had people a lot less smart than Gonzalo Lira fool me, you know. So, and I'm not trying to talk shit about him either. I'm just mentioning I don't know his heart, but what it seemed like to me is that he realized that he would see himself as a coward if he didn't say something now. And that some things are bigger than him. And it needs to be talked about. And it needs to be exposed now. It's not a bad question that you ask about, you know, like what his actions were questionable. And yes, they are in a way. They are in a way questionable. Especially where he's got a wife and kids. But again, if everybody with a wife and kids, who are usually the less degenerate ones, to be honest. Not saying that you can't be degenerate if you have one. But the ones that have a family going and, you know, a decent amount of money, they have much more to lose, right? So often they will be the ones that don't speak out. And you have the more decadent ones like commies and stuff that are the ones that are more vocal because they have less to lose, right? And sometimes as someone that has something to lose, you have to speak out regardless of the consequences. So I hope that makes sense. What do you guys have to say? Let me catch up to you guys here. When I had one woman there, it reminded me of the Jonestown Massacre and the woman speaking up and asking why they can't at least let the children live. Seems they were lied to. Okay, hold on. Oh, sorry. Have you watched, this is used Rumble or Odyssey, have you watched the video Azov supposedly filmed in the plant of civilians? I hope it's fake, or they are somewhere else or left. It seems they were lied to, first about the amount of food, and now about being able to leave. And I would add on top of that, I think they were lied to about they were going to break the encirclement. I think Kiev or wherever they're getting their orders from were lying to them, saying that they would break them out of the encirclement. They've had hope used against them. They've had hopium used against them to keep them complacent and keep them fighting and draw out this war more. Yeah. It's what it seems like to me, indeed. And you say it reminds you of Jonestown Massacre and the woman speaking up and asking why they can't at least let the children leave. Yeah. Bunch came out today. Family members of Azov mostly. Okay, that's good. Yeah. That's good. It's so sad to watch, even if the family is misguided. The children are innocent. Yes. Yeah. The Pentagon is worried about all the arms they sent falling into the wrong hands. Yeah. He was pro-Russian because he wasn't anti-Russian. Exactly. Exactly. And this is how all of them act. This is how all of them act. If you're not yelling Slava Ukraina enough, right, then you are a Putin lover. We saw those trolls or whatever that came in. They're like, again, we'll probably never see that happen on our chat again. It was just that I had the search tags up and things like that, and these people, you know, whether they're doing it for free or they're glowtards, like they have to come and then paint everybody that is not with their narrative as a pro-Putin or pro-Russian. You don't need to be pro-Putin to be anti-lies. Okay? That's the simple. That's what it comes down to me. Simply, I'm sick of seeing the lies from our side. I'm sick of seeing the lies propagated on us. I'm sick of it happening on other countries. I'm sick of them using other countries to their benefit. I'm tired of it. And this should not be a right wing, left wing, pro Putin, pro Russian, anything. The lies have to stop. Journey Trials and Joy, welcome to the channel. I just found out about him missing. Man, this is crazy. What will happen if this turns out to be true? There is no one to bring to justice. What I recommend, call your Chilean embassy. Get them to demand his whereabouts, what had happened, try and get as much of the story possible. Call the Chilean embassy in your country. You can message the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on Twitter and other social media things. Twitter is a good place to go because it seems like there's a concentrated amount of people there. And put pressure on them to find out the whereabouts of Gonzalo Lira. And justice is don't hold your breath waiting for justice in this world, especially now at this time where we've been told that we would be looking for justice and we'll never find it, especially in these days when people have no moral standards in the West, like none. They don't know what truth is. They don't know what they don't know what love is. Just like Gonzalo was just saying in that part of the video. They don't understand what love is. It's all emotion for them. It is all just emotive garbage. And they don't realize how evil they've become and how unjust they've become. And most people that are unjust do not see how unjust they are. Right? I wouldn't expect it from any secular power. But there's always hope, and I think the best chance would be to contact the Chilean embassy, put pressure on them that many people see this. There's many people that know Gonzalo. And if they make enough voice, then they can force an answer. It does seem like there's a defense going on. Like when I'm going through the people commenting on this channel that come in out of nowhere or whatever, not just on this channel, but everywhere else. And then you go through all of these comments on, what's her name? Brian Stelter with a wig. What's her friggin' name again? Sarah Ashton Cirillo or whatever. Michael Cirillo. It looks like there's a defense mode, and they're trying to post him to be super pro-Russian, and he wasn't. He wasn't super pro-Russian. They're trying to dehumanize him so it doesn't matter if he's gone. Keep pushing. Keep pushing back at them. Not, and don't target her or him, whatever. Keep going with the embassies and things like that. Make sure that people remember him, you know, that he's not forgotten about. I don't know if Gonzalo spoke Ukrainian or Russian, so he would be noticed by speaking English. Yes, apparently he did not speak Ukrainian or Russian from what I heard. Which just speaks again to, like, they're calling him a Russian spy, all right? And it's like, that would be the worst Russian spy ever. Like, the worst. Like, first off, he's too loud. He was too rambunctious. He was, by his own admittance, very, very ego-driven. Like, these guys don't make good spies. Especially ones that, like, make themselves noticed to thousands or hundreds of thousands of people. Right? Like, that's not a very good spy. And he doesn't speak any of the languages there. Like, there's no ability to fit in. He sticks out like a sore thumb. He looks like he sticks out like a sore thumb. How they even find where CRP is staying at, there's many different ways. Someone mentioned triangulation of cell phone towers. That's one. There's also, they could simply get their IP from places like YouTube. I mean, are we really going to trust YouTube these days? Figure out where they're uploading from. They can get IP addresses, so they can get a close boundary then of where he is. Lots of information you can pick up, especially if you're, the SBU, the intelligence operation in Ukraine. Let's just going through the chat still, sorry. There is a chance some of us will die for our beliefs. To be honest, the governments are now moving and crushing people to get whatever they desire. Canada is gone and the USA is about gone. Yes, I think there is a chance of this too. And I've thought about this for a very long time. I've been posting, questionable videos since 2014. And before I made the decision to start doing so, I realized I didn't understand the total depravity of these groups at that point. But I did know that you're dealing with subversive activity within, and that there could and would be a danger if you keep talking about this stuff eventually, because they're not the end game. Although in 2014 you never saw like the end game so close, so like it would be understandable if you didn't see the danger that lied ahead. But if you really thought about it, you could see it's like, where are we headed with this? Right? Where are we headed with this? It's obviously not going to end with freedom and prosperity, right? And you realize, if you thought about that if you keep talking like this, you're going to end up on some lists, if you weren't already. And as they need to deal with you more and more, like I did study like different types of totalitarianism and mind control up at that point, and you start realizing what they do to people who you continue to speak out against like that. So if you do create channels like this in countries that are, going this way, and I'm pretty sure they all are, then yeah, maybe you should expect some sort of retaliation for speaking against them. Yeah, there is certainly that chance indeed. Pavel Grigortsuk says, most commonly accepted social institutions, including the notion of state, property as a right, natural rights in general, and the very notion of society were mere illusions, ghosts in the mind. Maybe. It depends on if you could defend your rights. If you can't defend your rights, then yeah, they are indeed illusions, aren't they? If you can't defend them on your own. And I think Coach Red Pill knew the world was falling apart and realized the truth. Yeah, that's what I was getting at there with that. I think it's pretty clear. Like, it didn't matter where he was going to do this. He was going to stand out against it somewhere. And what better opportunity would you have if you're of that mindset to speak out against tyranny than to do it right there, right then? Like, why stop now? Why hold yourself now? Right? It really doesn't matter if he was motivated by foolish vainglory or true principle if he was doing the right thing. Yeah. CRP was innocent. He had the gall to stand up for his own dignity, his own right not to be subjected. I agree. We are in agreement. He just wasn't going to take it lying down. Where was he going to go, I guess you could ask to be taken out, like, into Russia. I don't know. But he had his family. And his wife is Ukrainian. So, one thing about Nazis is, if you look into how they punished their dissidents, is that it wasn't just you, it was your family. And what happens, he could take his wife, I suppose. He could take his children. Was he going to take the entire extended family of his wife? Right? What happens to them then? They get genocided like in Bucha for being too close to a pro-Russian supporter in their minds? They had pro-Russian family. It's only a matter of time before you start cleansing those people. So why not ship your family out and take the hit yourself rather than running? Paul Martin, let's see. Dang, I was supposed to have met him for a beer in Manhattan a couple years back. The left called in and broke up the meeting. Wow. I hope this is all a bad nightmare. I really like Gonzalo. Yeah, I hope he's okay too. I hope, he's a smart guy. Maybe he did find a way to outsmart them, but I don't know. Leading North says, I consider every day that they will eventually come for me. Yes. You need to if you're going to speak out against them. I understand if people want to stay silent, but if you don't, then you have to realize the consequences of it. If you're lucky, they'll just paint you out as crazy. Cancel you, right? They'll ruin your livelihood, maybe make you homeless or something. Right? Justice is for the living. MMT, welcome. I'm actually pro-Putin. He's admirable because, unlike most politicians, he actually represents the power of the notion or of the nation state as the organizing structure in society, not the power of core. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I disagree with Putin's stuff on, but at least he has a core. Whereas basically all of these other countries are looking to be post-nationalist. They are anti-culture, anti-tradition, and I mean, I'm kind of, in some ways, you can call me an anti-traditionalist, but not in the way that, like, you just forget everything about your history. Whereas Putin seeks to embrace it. Now, he might be authoritarian, which I do not like and I do not support, but I do wonder why he needs to be authoritarian. I mean, you see all these NGOs and groups that are trying to infiltrate Russia just because someone was mad with them. Like some group of some particular heritage is very, very against Russia. I start to wonder, and this also makes me wonder about, like, and I don't support China either, but it makes me wonder about, like, the whole Uyghur genocide. Like, did that even happen? Or is this just more lies from NGOs, from the National Endowment for Democracy and stuff like that? Like, how much of this is actually true? Like, are the freedom fighters actually, like, freedom fighters, or are they fascists, like in Taiwan? Like Kuomintang, which was grouped up with the CIA, right? And again, I'm right wing, like, I got no love for Russia or China in that way, not politically, especially China, right? But I'm wondering how much of this that has been fed to us is just total lies. Hi, Tanky. be nice. Listen, what I would appreciate here is I don't care if you're communist. I don't care if you're right wing. I don't care if you're theist, atheist, whatever. I think that we can all agree. I think this topic might be a more uniting factor or uniting issue than I've ever seen, to be honest with you. I think that there are right-wingers that can wholeheartedly agree with stone-cold Marxists on this issue, and we see it. If you go through the people who are not buying into the narrative, they're of all persuasions. And I personally, in this channel, for this topic, I'd like to keep it that way. We can get into our arguments of economics and religion and all that stuff at another time. Right now, we got an empire of lies that are a result of extreme decadence. And I think that regardless of your ideology or creed, whatever, I think we all can see that something's wrong if you have the eyes to see it. And I don't really mind working with commies this one time. this one time, I got a lot more in common with your average communist in this than I do your average NPC. Welcome to the channel, MMT, by the way, and you got a wrench if you want to pass on links. Try and keep it pertinent to the discussion and respectful. If he was killed, it was because there was a bunch of organized murderers using their loyalty as an excuse, as justification. Yes. And this is tyranny indeed. And they think that they are just in cheering on and cheering for the murder of people that disagree with them. This is evil at its core. Evil at its core. Atomic spies didn't speak Russian. Mostly spies don't look like spies, I think, and it still doesn't mean that Gonzalo is a spy. Oh yeah, fair. We're all effed. Sow seeds, grow your own food. Yeah. Don't try to read my last name. Come on, Grigortsuk? Grigortsuk? Give me some help. Now I'm determined. Darth X Zero, this stuff is all a business now. They claim the means justify the ends. Got guns, kill people, justified. Sorry, I didn't mean to bang on the mic there. If you, anyone reading this, live in a country that allows it, arm up and train more than firearm safety. If shit hits the fan, you have better protection than not. Good luck, good people. Hold on, I got a kitty here trying to crowd the microphone. Come on, big guy. There you go. All right, kitty. Let's see. Yeah, it's good advice, break the silence. Good advice indeed. I saw a video of Azov pleading for release from the Steelworks factory. Yes. Yeah, and they've been doing it for, I mean, like, I got very little remorse for Azov Battalion, but I still have a little bit because they were being lied to over the past month or so, like being holed up. I mean, can you imagine being holed up in that plant? Right? Like and you're being told that they're going to break through and save you. They're going to get you food, and then they drop off like 2 helicopters worth of food as if that means anything. Like, what about water? Like, the Black Sea is salt water, I'm pretty sure, right? Sea of Azov? It's all salt water. Like, there's no fresh water anywhere around that plant. And it's hard to store that much water. So, like, they're probably running low on supplies. They're being promised supplies, and then, like, a couple helicopters come in to drop off some crap. That's it. Can you imagine, like, how many times they've been let down by Central Command? God, he says Anglos. Yeah, what's the last update on him? I can't believe this. I've been watching him for years. He's made me a better man. So, gone for 5 days. No word. All kinds of hearsay, but likely not due to some internet outage or something like that. So, you whittle it down to 2 chances. He outsmarted any type of attempt against him, or he has been detained and likely disappeared. I highly doubt we will see proof of life or death from him, if that's the case. And I'm tending to think that the latter has happened. So I'm sorry I don't have better news for you, gamer. But it certainly seems like he's been taken. But again, there's very little information we can trust on it. Only that he has not shown. Knowing the world of shit we are headed towards, and knowing Christ said he who loves his life will lose it, live by the sword and die by the sword. How to fight without losing one's soul. Die like Gonzalo. Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it? How have I been today, Abidan? Good, man. Thank you for asking. I had some internet issues. I think it was because I left my computer on for too long. Maybe they messed with me. I don't know. I don't think so, though. But it seems to be working better now. Let's see. Thanks for asking, Chris Jones. Always good to see you. Hope he's okay. 2022 sucks. I missed the good old days before 2019. Good old days, they ended probably somewhere around 2001, man. I think September 11th attacks is probably where it really started to go downhill, and maybe some people could argue JFK. I don't know. What makes you say 2019? I think another thing for us, maybe 2012 and 2013 when they started revoking the... 2012 was when they revoked or they amended the Smith-Mundt Act, which allowed them to commit psyops against the American people, which started really influencing the American public and therefore the Western public. Dragonman Assassin. Perfect Standard KJV, what have I missed? We're kind of just chatting in this one. I went through like as much info as I could on the first part. So you can check that one. But I just gave the update on Gonzalo. There's not much to update, to be honest. And I don't think that there will be. I think it's a smart plan for... it would be a smart plan on the side of the Ukrainians to not have information of his whereabouts, and it would cause the most demoralization of the researchers against them. So keep your head up and keep digging against these evil, evil bastards. Richard Wolff. Yeah, Marxist. Amherst. That was a link that I was given by Dragonman Assassin. Is there something specific you want me to look into, Dragonman? Let me know. Scott Ritter didn't give any new evidence of Lira being dead. Yeah, no, it's going to be very hard to find that, you know. TAA says, oh, sorry, what is tradition? Is it mandatory rule or voluntary agreement? I don't know if it's either, really. It can... It's the acceptance of something as the norm. I would maybe define on first glance. A rite or a ritual that has been accepted as the norm. At which, I don't know, it could be voluntary or involuntarily accepted. It's a good question. Or was it a voluntary agreement even before the advent of paper contracts, which later became an excuse for the power of despotic rulers to establish laws to stay in power? Maybe, yeah. Yeah, it could tradition could definitely be used by despots or despots, whatever, in order to keep people in line. But I think there's also the natural want and need for humans to cling to culture and their own, and with that comes the rites and rituals and everything that comes along with it. They can develop naturally, not just with despots, but despots certainly seek to use it to their advantage. Kitten, get out of my way. The battle that most would agree is good versus evil. Anyone thinking logically, anyways, even non-believers would agree aborting a week after term is evil. Most. There's some that argue about that now. Certainly not me. Certainly not me. Just trying not to miss anything. Sorry. As a Christian, I would know, or I know the world is moving towards some kind of world system. I don't love this world, so let them have it. I refuse to be a slave for a world system that will just end up killing you. Yeah. There's one thing between accepting the system and, like, you have to live in the world. Excuse my yawn there. You have to live in the world. But there's a difference between living in it and accepting it. When you choose to bring children into this world, you relinquish your right to be reckless like that. Maybe. Or is that something that the evil count on? Is that something that the evil count on in order to do their bidding? That you won't stand up against them because you have a family? Everyone loses their father, you know, at some point. Everyone loses their parents at some point, unless they go before them. You know, I'm kind of reminded of one of the only good characters of Man in the High Castle. If you haven't seen that, I don't really recommend it because it's not that good, especially the second or the third and fourth season. But one of the only good parts about that was the character Obergruppenführer Smith. I think his name's John Smith, and he was a man that fought for the American army in World War II, and in this version, in this book that became a TV series, the Nazis won, right? And rather than fighting to the death because he had a family, he decided to join the Nazis, right, and join their army, right? And he ended up having a very good life, I guess you could say. Better than dying, right? But he became a monster. A compartmentalized monster that did horrible atrocities. So, will we become John Smith if we don't do something? Maybe. Was it the thing was that happened to him by the end of season 2? Sorry, if anybody has a spoiler, you can mute it now, because it is an interesting couple seasons, at least the first couple seasons. But he joined the Nazis to save his family, right? So that their family wouldn't lose their father. Okay? And that worked for a while. But at the end of it, his son had a debilitating disease, a progressive disease. It was Jakob Creutzfeldt or something like that. It's a neurological disease that gets progressively worse, and under the Nazi laws, or that were going to happen, or with time, was that these progressive disease, you would euthanize these people. So because of the ideology that he accepted in order to save himself for his children, he lost his son. His son had to die. He still lost them anyways. So I'm kind of reminded of that you bring it up. I'm not saying you're wrong about it. It's something to think about. But if you're going to submit to tyranny, then, you know, there's two sides of it. Let's go through the rest of it here now. There's a satanic following that sold their souls to advance that agenda. The job for believers is to assist in whatever ways possible should the complete truth come to light. Yep, yeah, and we're also told to expose evil. We are instructed to expose evil. Stop making him to some hero of truth or a martyr. That's just disgusting. I don't know. I think somebody that wants to point out the evils of a nation within the nation and pay the price for it. I'm not sure. I think the argument could be made that he's heroic. If there are more people to call out the Euromaidan, then we wouldn't be in such a situation. But everybody else didn't want to rock the boat. Okay, so it's Chuk, Grigor Chuk. Sorry about that. Projection or pointing a finger while having 100 pointing back at them. Hopefully the truth will be brought to light. By the way, not AQ or DTG apologist, just seeking real truth and why I'm here. Yeah, I think Q is a psyop. I think it's very much like Operation Trust. Hold on. 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks, guys. Counterintelligence operation of the State Political Directorate of the Soviet Union. The operation, which was set up by the GPU's predecessor Cheka, ran from 1921 to 1926 and set up a fake anti-Bolshevik resistance organization, the Monarchist Union of Central Russia, to help the OGPU identify real monarchists and anti-Bolsheviks. The created front company was called the Moscow Municipal Credit Association. Long short of it, they had their own Operation Trust. 2 more weeks, trust the plan, and then come with us, just like in Jan 6. That's what I think Q was. There's a lot of truth being said in it, and a lot of the people that followed it, I mean, they were, again, legitimate people, right? And there was a lot of good people that fell for it. I do think the same thing with Donald Trump as well. They needed chaos to start this up, and he was like the perfect candidate for that. Easily controlled too, because I mean, like, he was clearly like narcissistic, right? And narcissists, they've known how to control narcissists, if not for hundreds of years, then certainly decades. Yeah, give me the 80s and 90s anytime. Bingo. Yeah, those were the days. Federal Reserve Act, World War II, JFK, 9/11. Yep. Yeah. I guess you could just keep going back, huh? This is a downright Ukrainian peasant surname that I got from my grandfather's stepfather, who was a Bolshevik agitator. Oh, okay. 1967 was the last good year, at least for cars. I do love the 67 cars. Hello, Big Bear. I have a big cat that I don't know what exactly is interesting him here so much, but he wants in on this desk. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. Galloway and Duran and the best of the rest were just as reckless, but not with their own lives. Sorry, I missed your other comment. I also blame all these alternative media outlets that brought him on their platform. They should have protected Gonzalo from himself, even if it's the truth. Maybe. I don't know, man. Listen. Like I keep saying, it was Gonzalo's choice. It was Gonzalo's choice. I'm not going to blame people for speaking out against lies and speaking out against corruption. Sometimes things are bigger than you, and you have to say something about it. Just 1 second. I wish I was alive in the 1900s. 2000 suck, lies everywhere. Yeah. 2010s was probably the good old days for me. Oh, cool, man. I was like a teen in the 2000s. That was pretty fun. The internet was really fun back then. Like, there's a lot less regulation and stuff like that. And you can basically do what you want. I learned like HTML when I was like 96, 97. I was really young. And I really enjoyed like making websites and stuff like that on like GeoCities and Angelfire. Well, I don't know about Angelfire. GeoCities though, you could like upload your own ones rather than having like some template made for you. Yeah, that was really fun. And I've noticed like the quote unquote Zoomers, they all suck at technology. All they know how to do is just like look at a smart screen. That's it. They suck at it. I thought they'd be like way better than me at technology, and they're not at all. They're like super dumb. No offense to the younger ones, but like I was expecting so much more. Um, yeah, the 90s were cool too. I was like a kid in the 90s. And the grown-ups were grown-ups back then. Not so much anymore. All the grown-ups want to be hip now. They want to be like children's best friend rather than grown-ups. He's a lefty, but like he said about the downfall of the empire, check out later if you have time. Oh, okay, gotcha. The wolf guy? Yeah, sure. Thank you, man. I'll check it out, Dragon Man Assassin. Don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming you or attacking Gonzalo. No, I mean, it's not without merit, what you're saying. It's, this is probably the argument that holds the most water, or is probably the most important to talk about, honestly. If we're all silent because we have a family, then we're going to lose it all. Like, people who don't have a family tend to not have much to lose. And they might say something, but it's usually the ones without a family, the failed, for lack of a better, no offense, I don't have a family. So I lump myself in with it. Like, the failed people tend to be like radical, like, often like the, revolutionary commies and stuff like that. Ones that want to tear down the system, right? Whereas the one that want to cling to something good, they have a family, and then they will tolerate decadency and lies and corruption because they don't want to rock the boat and hurt their family. It's an important discussion to have, but I think at the same time, I think it's important to speak out against tyranny, even if you have something to lose. Probably more so if you have something to lose, because, again, you have something to lose. You're going to be more balanced when you come into the decision-making process. Chris Jones says, interesting conversation. The elites would love for us to be defeatists. That's why I refuse the doomer mindset. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. That's what they want us to do. They want us to feel defeated and be malleable. That's what they want. That's what they want. What is worrying everyone is the institutionalization of crimes against the innocent, tyranny. Yeah. Yeah. Like, people that are now like openly dehumanizing people online. Like, this crazy stuff, man, and justifying death and destruction of someone's life. Yeah, crazy, man. And it's all done by like very weak people that probably couldn't, win a fist fight to save their life. What is our world? The event horizon scares me, but I almost believe that the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus describes the path to salvation and liberation. Careful with that, actually. Okay, so Sermon on the Mount, Matthew 5-7. Bear in mind that was for the Jews, right? Okay. What you want to bear in mind there, what does he end it with? Be perfect as thy Father is perfect. Okay, but what do we see in the Bible through and through is that we can never be perfect. There is not one righteous. No one is righteous, not even one. Okay? The Sermon on the Mount, I'm not saying that it was bad advice. It's not bad advice. It's perfect advice. It's from Jesus, right? But to think that we can follow this perfectly is the folly that the Pharisees and the rich young man and stuff like that, like, they all fell into this trap of legalism that we could all adhere to this, and we can't. It's the path to salvation is Jesus alone, knowing that he makes up for our shortcomings, right? So bear that in mind. Now, I'm not saying that you ignore everything in the Sermon on the Mount, but it's not our path to salvation. You be careful about that. Everyone loses their father. It should be enough, or it should be through old age, not because some Nazi animals tortured him to death. Yes, I agree. If we become defeatists, we already lost. Yeah. Robert McKenna says, are you in the unipolar camp or multipolar? Fair world order. So, on the surface, it certainly looks like the multipolar to keep balances in check. The balances of power in check. That would be the case, but I'm not so sure that it is multipolar. Like, I think there's a possibility that there's something behind both camps, both poles, working us against each other to accept lower conditions, lower living conditions, working conditions, and stuff like that, because, you know, the evil Russians or the evil Westerners. I think that there's something like that. Would Russia take a Canadian as a refugee? Sometimes I think of escaping to Russia. I wonder. give him a shout. See what's up. It's not about being a defeatist. I didn't need Gonzo to tell me the truth in history of what led to this war. If Lira is dead, it wasn't necessary, at least not in my opinion. No, but he did wake up a lot of people to what's going on in Ukraine. He did wake up a lot of people to many different things from what I'm reading. At some point, you got to hear the truth from somebody. It's got to be passed on. It needs to be passed on. I know we reached a lot of people who needed to be pointed to the truth, and that's very noble and brave. Up or down. Yeah, fair. No, it's a good conversation. Appreciate it, man. Let's see. Perfect Standard KJV. What do you think about Ukraine? Russia started during Lent. Lent is a period of grief. COVID started 2020 in the West during Lent too. I hadn't put much thought into this. Interesting. I'll have to get back to you. I haven't thought of it. I didn't think, because like I'm not Catholic, right? So I was Catholic, but Lent is Babylonian, pagan, 40 days mourning for Tammuz. Yeah. You can spell it like that. I think often we spell it Tammuz, but it doesn't matter. Gotcha. Let's see. Leading north, yes, makes me wonder what the Vatican has in store for next year during Lent. Yeah, now you got me thinking. There's a lot of flavored milk brands in Australia. They all owned by the same people, same as Tyranny. They own all brands, including you and your progeny. 90s were the last good era. We're going to do a last call too, by the way. I try and keep this before 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So if you got anything else that you'd like to chat about, you can add it here. As the days pass, the people, especially the youth, get dumber. Yeah, it's sad, man. It's sad because, I mean, like, we have so much more access. Well, we could have so much more access to information and the ability to learn. And that's the way, like, when I was in the 90s and 2000s and I was heavily involved in technology, like, way more than your average person. Like, we take for granted, like, if you're younger or whatever, like, you might have grown up with technology in your hands at all times, you know. For us, it wasn't really like that, and you kind of had to be a nerd if you wanted to be into the computers and stuff. Like, I was a total nerd because I was on the internet all the time, right? And, like, yeah, there was, like, AOL, and ICQ was the old messaging system, and MSN Messenger and stuff like that, and I would chat with girls and stuff, but they would be on for, like, an hour, a day. You know what I mean? You had to catch the girls for that hour that they were on. Whereas like I was there like so much. Sorry, I got thrown off because Leading North mentioned Mes Aïeux de Génération. Yeah, I love that song, man. That's a great song. I've played it here. Ton arrière-arrière-grand-mère. Yeah, it's a really good song. I'll play this song, and then if there's anything else that you guys want to chat about, because I think I'm caught up at this point, just let me know. I'm gonna play this song because it is actually a dope song, and then we can finish up with the questions or comments or anything like that you'd like to do, and I'll be right back.
Ton arrière-arrière-grand-père, il a défriché la terre. Ton arrière-grand-père, il a labouré la terre. Et puis ton grand-père a rentabilisé la terre. Et puis ton père, il l'a vendu pour devenir fonctionnaire. Et puis toi, mon petit gars, tu sais plus ce que tu vas faire dans ton petit 3,5, ben trop cher, fret en hiver. Il te vient des envies de devenir propriétaire et tu rêves la nuit d'avoir ton petit lopin de terre. Ton arrière-arrière-grand-mère, elle a eu 14 enfants. Ton arrière-grand-mère en a eu quasiment autant. Et puis ta grand-mère en a eu 3, c'était suffisant. Puis ta mère en voulait pas, toi t'étais un accident. Et puis toi, ma petite fille, tu changes de partenaire tout le temps. Quand tu fais des conneries, tu t'en sauves en avortant. Mais y a des matins, tu te réveilles en pleurant quand tu rêves la nuit d'une grande table entourée d'enfants. Ton arrière-arrière-grand-père a vécu la grosse misère. Ton arrière-grand-père, il ramassait les scènes noires. Et puis ton grand-père, miracle, est devenu millionnaire. Ton père en a hérité, il l'a tout mis dans ses REER. Et puis toi, petite jeunesse, tu dois ton cul au ministère. Pas moyen d'avoir un prêt dans une institution bancaire pour calmer tes envies de hold-up et la caissière. Tu lis des livres qui parlent de simplicité volontaire. Tes arrière-arrière-grands-parents, ils savaient comment fêter. Tes arrière-grands-parents, ça swingait fort dans les veillées. Puis tes grands-parents ont connu l'époque yéyé. Tes parents, c'était les discos, c'est là qu'ils se sont rencontrés. Et puis toi, mon ami, qu'est-ce que tu fais de ta soirée? Éteins donc ta TV, faut pas rester encabané. Heureusement que dans vie, certaines choses refusent de changer. Enfile tes plus beaux habits, car nous allons ce soir danser.
That's a really good song. What did you want me to talk about with it? Not a merch, but yeah. Well, it's talking about how hard we worked at one point, and then it created better conditions. It's the old cliche, right? It creates better conditions at which we got comfortable with and too comfortable with, and then we lost what made us great. Yeah, it's a really good song. By the way, you gave me the version that there's a second part to that song which is kick ass. It's like kind of like half, it's part French, part Celtic, part like Jewish, even because Montreal's got a pretty big Jewish group, and that's what Mes Aïeux, like it kind of mixes all of that in. And yeah, you missed that second part of the song is my favorite, to be honest, the actual swing dancing. Yeah, I mean it spells out where we are right now. Spells out where we are. And then your father didn't want to have you? You were an accident, or your parents didn't want to have you? Yeah. Great song. Civilizational downfalls happen from time to time. Yeah, it happens. I mean, we saw what happened. Like the Roman Empire is the quintessential one that we always go back to, right? Like it created such good conditions that people got way too comfortable. They didn't want to have kids. They didn't want to be industrial anymore. They just wanted to bask in their own glory. And too much of a focus on tradition. Here's an off-topic city council meeting. It's hilarious. All right, let's take a look. Oh, hold on. One day ago, had me in with Klitschko. And we'll get to the other one after.
A school in Kiev evacuated as bomb disposal teams searched the building. A training exercise this time, but schools across Ukraine have been...
Yeah, so there they are. Just
This is democracy now.
No, go away.
A school in Kiev exercise this time.
Look at this. Yeah, training them all to use. Here are the weapons that you use to kill the orcs.
But schools across Ukraine have been plagued with false alarm bomb scares, being blamed on Russian agents.
I
probably can't read this. I say grab them and cut their heads off for what they're doing to the kids. They are mocking them. The ones who are making the calls don't want it to be quiet in Ukraine. We've had it up to there with them. Well, okay. Fair enough. Whoever's doing that to children and scaring children should be brought to justice. But you're automatically blaming Russia when it could very well just be some psyop.
Як от эти, що дзвонять, хто? Бидли. Которые не хочуть, щоб тут спокійно було на Україні. Бо їм Україна вся в этому серці.
The Ukrainians have obviously got to carry out these kind of drills because there could be more bomb scares. But this is doing nothing, obviously, to calm already pretty jittery nerves in the city. In the corridors of power in the offices of the president, his advisor told me a Russian invasion isn't imminent, but Russian agents are inside the country and creating division and fear.
Безумовно, для росіян сьогоднішня ситуація виглядає дуже перспективно. Тобто вони принаймні прийняли активну участь в створенні.
Okay, Russians see a lot of opportunities in the current situation. They've created a powerful pressure in the media and our society. Project more.
Потужного інформаційного тиску на українську суспільну думку. Суспільство, безумовно...
Our people are easy to scare. They are susceptible to all that talk that there will be a war.
Сьогодні дуже просто
This is January 28th of 2022, by the way, so just under a month before the war started.
Воно дуже активно, навіть проактивно чи навіть реактивно реагує на будь-які закиди з точки зору, що завтра буде війна.
To Mayor of Kiev, from Boris Johnson.
Yeah.
There he is. From Boris Johnson. Oh, wow, amazing.
Crosstown Kiev's mayor and boxing champion Vitaly Klitschko showed me the book Boris Johnson gave him, The Prince, Machiavelli's Manual on the Dark Arts of Power.
So, let me get this straight. Boris Johnson signed and gave a copy to Vitaly Klitschko of The Prince by Machiavelli. Okay.
Has that been useful for you as Mayor of Kiev? Yes, of course.
Yes, of
Ukrainians,
course.
he says, will use everything they have to defend themselves.
We don't have another choice. We have to defend our country, defend our future, defend our families. We are not aggressive. We have to defend future of our children.
Yeah, okay, what happened in Donbass? What happened in Euromaidan?
But Ukraine needs more help from allies, he says, ridiculing Germany's promise to send 5,000 helmets and questioning what side it's on.
Is
This is around the same time as well that Canada gave a whole bunch of stuff too, huh? So they knew this was coming, didn't they?
Joke. Germans have to decide in which side. If Ukraine defend our independence, in territorial integrity, or in the side of aggressors.
Ukrainians must watch and wait while the diplomacy goes on miles away from here. In the meantime, preparing for the worst. Dominic Waghorn, Sky News, Kiev.
Interesting that they point out Germany specifically. There is the Atlantic Council talk. I forget who gave it. You'll have to give me a little bit to look this up. But they don't want Germany and Russia working together because German capital with the lands and resources of Russia working together could basically topple NATO, right? So they want them split at all times. They keep pushing those buttons against each other so that they never work together, right? That was talked upon many times with the Atlantic Council. They do not want these guys working together. Let's see. Here's an off-topic city council meeting.
Hey, what up? What up, pimp? So, it's tax season right now. First of all, I just want to give a shout out to my kids. It's the only time of the year I ever play my kids. You feel?
You feel?
Shout out to them, you feel me? What I was gonna say was, so I just got my ancestry DNA test back, and I'm 2% black. The reason I'm up here today is cause y'all trifling, and we need to honor my homie George Floyd, who now been sober 2 years, and this is finna be called the Say His Name Bill. All right? So this is my ancestry DNA test. If y'all don't believe me, 2%. So first of all, let's take a knee to the Pledge of Allegiance of George Floyd while I recite the pledge. Everybody take a knee, please. I pledge allegiance to George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement and the causes for which they stand. One sentence. I can't breathe. With methamphetamine and fentanyl for all. Let's get into it now. Nobody took a knee, I see. I guess y'all racist. Y'all was taking a knee back in 2020, though. Am I the only one still taking knees? So, this is what's finna be on the bill, though, which will be for kindergarten.
Look at the Karen. She's not happy.
Through 12th grade for the month of April. So first of all, white kids need to hold their breath for 8 minutes every day. White kids have to do the black kids' schoolwork. White kids have to give black kids their lunch money, or else they'll go to the principal's office. Everyone will watch George Floyd's sex tape and write an essay on it. Every Veterans Day, we will honor George Floyd as he served as a security guard for the Salvation Army. Kids can receive bonus points in the classroom if they hold a pregnant woman at gunpoint. Kids can receive bonus points for using counterfeit $20 bills. Kids can receive bonus points if they record themselves having a fentanyl overdose and live. Students should purposely provoke the police because they're racist and try their best to receive police brutality and be celebrated by BLM with a peaceful protest. Students will be encouraged to do everything possible to get shot by the police and do not comply. White kids will sit in the back of the bus so that they can live the experience of Rosa Parks. Black kids will start with a baseline grade on all schoolwork of 80%, and white kids will start with 0% in order to end racism. Students will post a black square on all social media platforms to end racism and spread equality. Pre-made Molotov cocktails will be for sale in the school store, and it will be highly encouraged that they are used on school police cars. If a white kid acts up in the classroom, the teacher will be called to put on a knee on his neck. If a black kid shoots someone in school, it will be justified and labeled as self-defense because he was bullied, no matter what, due to skin color, and he will be celebrated as a national hero. Black kids...
Okay, all right. I get it. Yeah, it's... I don't know. I feel like I'm seeing a lot of these, and I wonder, like, if there's some kind of money behind just keep pushing that button on any side at all. You know what I mean? Like, some of these are really funny. Don't get me wrong. This one made me chuckle a few times, but there does seem to be some vested effort to, like, commandeering these councils. Maybe, like, to me, it almost feels like it's trying to set the ground for saying not everybody can speak at these councils. Like, it's like trying to abuse the freedom of speech. You know what I mean? So that they could have justification to shut it down. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So something is up, in my opinion, with these, even though like they can be funny. Some of them are freaking hilarious too. But let's see, ICQ. Yeah. Oh gosh. What's your prophetical stance to the rest of 2022 with the course of things in the West, at home or abroad, Avidan? So, prophetical stance. I tend not to deal with prophecy. When it comes to prophecy, for the most part, I go by Hebrews 1. 1:1. There we go. God, who at sundry times in diverse manners, different manners, sundry times various, spake in time past unto his fathers by the prophets. Okay, comma. In the Bible, comma often means that there's a separation, meaning that these two, one is a contrast to the other, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son. Okay, so I don't like being a prophet. I don't like I'm not saying that it's impossible that there will be prophecy. There is an outpouring of gifts or whatever at the end, but I don't think we're there yet. And I think there are some big problems in the church these days with people claiming to be prophets and apostles and stuff like that. I've gone through this before. Don't mind me. I'll get to your actual question, though. The rest of 2022, I don't think you need to be a prophet to know these things. They're looking for economic destabilization, heightened tensions, and looking for any and every reason to take away freedoms from people. I mean, it looks pretty clear to me. You don't need to be a prophet for that. And I think that's worldwide, and I think it's both in the West and in the East. Just looking for other reasons to do so. Stove, welcome. Have yourself a wrench so you can pass on links. How does everyone in the West see Israel, a Jewish nation, donate millions of money and arms to neo-Nazis and not question anything? Did Israel donate money to Azov, or did people from Israel do so? I want to be clear that there are little hats involved in many nefarious things, but I don't necessarily blame the nation of Israel. I don't tend to blame everybody there. I think that, well, the nation is kind of brainwashed. But if we're looking at neo-Nazis as in Azov, we're looking at Kolomoisky and various elements of the intelligence agencies of both Israel and U.S. They seem to be working together, that's for sure. Depends on how you look at the CIA. Like, do you consider the actions of the CIA the actions of the American people? Do you consider the actions of the nation of America? Because I don't necessarily see it that way. Because so much of this stuff is so clandestine that, like, most of these government officials have no say in what these people do. Right? Good night, Robert. Good to see you, man. Great chat, he says. Great to have you. Also, nobody says batted an eye 8 years ago when they were killing ethnic Russians back in 2014. Our children will go to schools. Their children will stay in the cellars. Yeah, that was Poroshenko that said that. I think he was in the Ukrainian parliament. If not, he was, doing a very public speech. And I don't know if it's not that. Well, in the West, nobody batted an eye. It certainly caught the attention of Russia. And Poroshenko was, well, we know about Poroshenko being the puppet for Nuland and Jeffrey Pyatt and the state, Department of State for America. So, yeah, disgusting stuff. And I agree with you there. that this should be talked about more, but it isn't. In fact, it is being covered up by the Western media. I agree. We talk about it a lot here. What's the latest info on Gonzalo? We've gone through it a bit. If you want to go through the first part that I did today, this is just kind of like the last one that we just chatted. But the first part, we go through the info, and essentially, he's a no-show for 5 days. It's very likely not due to an internet outage. There are talks about him being beheaded and stuff like that, but it is just talks. We can only hope that he's alive, but after 5 days, those hopes are kind of waning, at least in my opinion. So it's not looking good for him, man. I do welcome you to the channel, Wudar Zuski. Or Zevsky. Sorry, Wudar Zevsky. Just insane to me how fast they turn the left into Warhawks. Yeah, the double speak is really something, isn't it? I agree there too. Yeah. One Day Ago says, yup, indeed. Capitalists aren't the left. So, I don't know how many capitalists really are into it. If you speak to a lot of magats and stuff like that right now, they're pretty against this war too. You do have Fox News kind of banging the war drums, but they're also paying a bit of a price of trust against their viewers, because the viewers aren't sold on this being Russia, Russia, Russia. But it's not a right or a left thing, guys. It's not. Let's try not to split up on this. This is about neocons and neoliberals that were all part of the same uniparty that have had these plans for many, many years, and poking the bear, trying to provoke it. And NPCs will do as they're told. And there's NPCs on the left and there's NPCs on the right as well. I think there might be more on the left, but I'm not convinced of that, to be honest. But I don't think it's a capitalism thing. I don't think it's a leftist commie thing. In fact, there's a lot of commies that are against this on the American side too, although most of them are, interestingly enough, siding with NATO, the same woke people. Yeah, woke seems to be it. Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Is that guy in city council speech another actor sent out? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that there's a lot of these guys that are being sent out to kind of hit these divides in order to shut down council speeches or the freedom of speech in council and hearings and stuff like that. I got a feeling that there might be some sort of program that's starting this, like clamoring to shut down these speeches. Nah, I mean, smacks lip. Yeah. Welcome, Majin, Lucien. Osborne Cox says, would say Russia and Stalin worked in concert with Hitler in Germany, as well as England, Churchill, Roosevelt. U.S. endpoint is, as Leo Lehman points out, and may others as you known countries are subject to the Pope, I guess you mean to say. Yeah, if you look into a lot of the backgrounds of these people, you can start finding the Vatican ties. Certainly there's Vatican ties for the City of London. There's Vatican ties for Stalin. Stalin went to the University of Tbilisi. That was Jesuit trained. He was indeed Jesuit trained himself. You have Hitler. Well, not Hitler. Hitler wasn't trained by Jesuits, but Himmler was. Yeah, you can start seeing a lot of ties to the Vatican. That's for sure. That's for sure. No prophets, duh. Well, I'm not going to say that there are no prophets. I don't see one right now. That's for sure. I don't see any of them adhering to the Bible or anything like that. I think they're fakers. But in the last days, there will be an outpouring, so bear that in mind. I'm not saying that there never can be, but I think the Bible's pretty clear in these days. We are subject to the words of the Bible as our prophecy. We're all, in that sense, we're kind of all prophets, aren't we? Or we all have the ability to be prophets because we have a direct connection to God through the Bible, right? Let's see, Shanghai MSM. Israel donations are proxy donations of American money. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Mossad and CIA's little connection. Yeah. CIA Catholics in Action. That's not even our words saying it, is it? That's Catholic words. Catholic Herald said that one time. Called themselves the Catholics in Action. Governments equals or do not equals people, etc. I get you. Cool. Only prophets now. Chances of him being dead like 99%. Yeah, I think so too. I'll be very happy if I see him alive, but at this point, I think it's pretty clear what has happened. We would have gotten something. Just found this, which undermines the story given to those who claim to kill Lira. It predates 5 days ago. Okay, let's take a look. This is out of Russian Pravda. Oh, yeah, I had this on earlier. Russian special forces captured the Ukrainian serviceman. Oh, yeah, they captured the guy named Chile. Yeah. Yeah, captured men were identified as Ukrainian citizens Sergei Velichko, nicknamed Chile, and Konstantin Nemichev, a member of the fan group of the local medalist football club. Yeah, so my point on this is, like, that picture that I showed of that Chile guy showing the biceps, I don't think that that's proof of anything that he was captured. I think that is aside from the truth. That was just some dude. He does seem to be connected to the Ukrainian army, but it doesn't mean, Ukrainian army lies all the time. Almost everything that comes out of their mouth is a lie. So don't just, when they say that they've killed him and who has killed them or something like that, don't just trust what they say. And also, like, he didn't say that Chile knew. It was just, it could have been for a meme purpose, like memetic. The Chile guy was captured not long after the kneecapping murders. How could he have abducted, tortured, and killed Lira 2 weeks later? Yeah, but again, like I was saying, like, just because it wasn't Chile, that guy named Chile, doesn't mean that they didn't capture and kill him. This could all just be part of the propaganda, right? Just bear that in mind. Bear that in mind. I never trusted, when I saw this thing, like I was showing you before. Hold on. This is I'll show you guys what he's referring to. Image 14. This here. If anyone knows who Gonzalo Lira is, please make a single bicep pose. And this is the guy named Chile, or nicknamed Chile. The other one as well. Yeah, the irony of Gonzalo Lira, Chilean, being caught by a guy with the call sign Chile is hilarious. Anyways, let's hope the beheading pops up in Telegram soon. This guy here that said it, he's no longer on Twitter, Botsmanua. But yeah, I mean, remember, these are, 60 IQ Ukrainians, right? They can't make a joke without lying, so they can't have any truth or anything like that in their jokes. So bear that in mind. They have to use what they can, right? Gonzalo might just be lying where he fell with a heart attack. Oh yeah, I've seen some pictures of him like being in the hospital and stuff like that, but that was actually from a very long time ago. It was him getting treated for sleep apnea. Yeah, I've seen that picture around as well. I didn't save that one. Thanks, happy to be here. Happy to have you, Majin. Okay, not only ties, but being controlled, obedient to. Yeah, it just depends on which side, right? Let's see. I read somewhere that Lira didn't have long to live or something. Heart problems? Maybe. It's possible. I've never heard him talk about that or anything like that. I've also heard that I've heard him say that like a lot of his videos that he made was so that his kid would have something to watch about him. So maybe I remember him saying something like that. But I've never heard him say that he didn't have long to live. Not sure. Yeah, he's in a country at war. A mortar could have blown him up. Could have gotten bound, gagged, and taken somewhere. Tortured and executed. Yep. It's 1,000 ways to die. But being MIA for 5 days just makes the chance of him being alive go down. Yep. He's probably filming angels with 4K drone cameras now. That's who Ritter cited. It is also the Azov battalion. Yeah. Tamzarian. So Ritter is talking about how these people are bragging about his death, right? And he also clarified himself, saying that he was just going based on these talks, and that the likelihood of him being alive after 5 days of no show and not appearing on interviews and stuff like that also drives the chances of him being killed up. I mean, I can't speak so much for Ritter, but Tamzarian, welcome to the channel. Have yourself a wrench. And you ask, are you familiar with Bill Cooper's Mystery Babylon series? Yes, I am. Bill Cooper was one of the first people I woke up to, and one of the first people that I learned about the evil of the Vatican. He was like who Alex Jones had to replace as the limited hangout, because Bill Cooper was telling way too much truth. Way too much truth. I think the internet is exposing not just the problems of the present, but the past. Think how many historical figures were just effing imbeciles doing stupid shit like we see today. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've definitely thought about that now that I see Zelensky. Do I have... Which pictures do I have up? Oh, this meme before we finish up. I got to show you this meme that I found. I didn't make it. Somebody else did. Give me a minute. Ah, here it is. Okay. Make it a bit bigger. There we go. All right. So, as you can see here, I don't know if you can read like the text that's going around here, but it's basically various news articles talking about how each of these people, like Manuel Noriega, Saddam Hussein, Osama bin Laden, and Gaddafi, talking about how they went from friend to foe to the CIA and the USA. And it's just the hand reaching out to Zelensky in the stairway to heaven. In the freaking dumbass face. This is one of my favorite memes I've found so far. This is great. I think I found that in Chug. Not 100% sure, but it was somewhere on 4chan, I'm pretty sure. Couple more memes, I guess, close out the night. Oh, there's this one that... So apparently there's a camera malfunction or pixelization. Hold on. I don't even know. Maybe someone messed with this. But this is like the ambassador to the United Nations from the United States. And... like, I don't know what happened here. I don't know if it's real or not, but it's being shared so much that it makes me laugh more and more that I see it. It looks like there's eyes and eyebrows and a mouth there. This is actually her hair up here. And I think there was just some like trick of the light or something like that. or maybe this is like photoshopped or something, but there's just something about this, like it's like a they live feeling. Yeah. What else do I got here? I don't know if I showed you this one yet. Someone complained about the look. Basically, I'm not going to support Ukraine. So I found this one. Look, basically, I'm just not going to leave the Ukraine. I know. Oh, I know. I'm sorry. It's just that I'm never leaving is all. This one's great too. Some of these Ukraine memes are so funny. I haven't been on 4chan in the past few days, but these are the ones that I got from beforehand. Well, you guys have all seen, I don't know, maybe I showed this already. Sorry if I have. So you know, like this one here, I've definitely shown that one. I have it up there anyways. And then there's also another one that's like, I support the opposite of the current thing, which was just basically leftists taking this meme and then putting a chud or like a poll, a 4chaner in it and saying, I support the opposite of the current thing, because, you know, the left can't meme, they can only copy. And then I saw this one that breaks from the norm. I caused the current thing. This, there's volunteers for Ukraine. I know you guys love these volunteers for Ukraine. Don't bring a knife to a gunfight. If you've seen the international balls, there's this one here. Oh, come on. Give me a break. Fit the screen. There you go. There's the picture of like that residential place that they were showing everywhere. Or no, I think this was an office building. And there's like a big hole through it. that one cracked me up when I saw that. What else do we got here? One second. Oh yeah, and I found this video when I was looking to make this thing here. Hold on. When I was making this. I love how the racer, the happy racer, always holds on to the gold coin. So when I found that, I found another video. I'll show it to you now in 1 second, but just the picture really quick because it's at least bloated so you can see it. Have you guys seen this before? So this is some dude testifying to Congress about, you know, the happy merchant memes. I've never seen this meme before. This is Fed Reserve and Wall Street, internet spying, Hollywood and TV, law courts, cancer industry. This was before COVID, by the way. Pornography. Who's this guy supposed to be again? I forget his name. Who is that guy? The one that's under pornography. He's like a famous porn star. I think he just like got caught on rape charges or something. Wars for Israel, sex trafficking, but they don't change it. They don't do anything with it. fake opposition. And dude's just like, what the heck is this? Oy vey. Hold on, I can find that video. Memes. Yeah, Congress reacts to Jewish memes.
Rabbi Cooper.
Congressman Deitch, I just want to come back again to this visual because it's in real time. This was posted by a professor at Rutgers University on his Facebook page. We have a young girl, 19 years old, who went to Rutgers because she wants to get her degree in food science. This is the guy she's going to have to go and sign up for because right now there is absolutely no price to pay. There's no red line, nothing about someone in a position of
And look, this guy takes down the name and he writes down the name of the guy who posted. And as you can see, like the dude has the name, like it's not scratched out, right? So like they're obviously calling out, like, you know, this right here would be targeting her and harassment if I ever did that for someone without doing like a big don't talk to these people and stuff, you know.
Responsibility, who openly expresses such vile hate, and there's nothing to protect that freshman from pursuing her course.
Right. And Mr. Greenblatt, am I so off base here? Have we been going down the wrong path, worrying about the 118 cases so far of anti-Semitism so far this year?
Congressman, you're dead.
And look who it is. This is the guy. This is Mr. Greenblatt is the guy. Brave.search. Ugh, dang it. Hold on. ADL Azov. Hold on. I don't know if I could find it here now. No more brother wars. Oh, the ADL's going off the chain for this. But anyways, there's one that they talk about the Ukrainian, the Nazi or the Azov is okay because they're not anti-Semitic. Anyways, it's this dude. It's this guy that's on the picture, the cover photo for that article by the ADL that is basically endorsing and whitewashing Azov.
Dead on. I mean, again, I know some people teach courses over the course of 15 weeks. The ADL's been tracking this for over 100 years, and data doesn't lie. And what you pointed out about the definition is exactly correct. This doesn't inhibit the ability of an individual, student, faculty, or otherwise.
Okay, all right, I don't care, but I got to see this guy one more time. This
Mercy on his Facebook page. We have a young girl, 19 years old, who went to Rutgers because she wants to get her degree in food science.
This is perfect. It's such a great meme. This is a meme in a meme. Yo, dog, I heard you like memes. All right. Okay, I think... Oh, hold on. I got kitties fighting. All right. So I'll probably finish it up there. Is there anything else? Hi, friends. Hey, friend. Good to see you, friend. Intrepid, welcome to the channel. Have yourself a wrench so you can pass on links. We are cluing up there now. I caused the current things. Jesuits are on the ground. Boots on the ground. Puppet masters. Yes. I'm going to make a... I know I've focused a little bit too much on the little hats today, especially where I consider Jesuits to be above them. But... I'm going to make another one that is for the Jesuits as well. Actually, anybody here that's like kind of good at cutting out, like making transparent images, like so that there's, you know, it's only the face? Because I want to make a video. Hold on. I'll show you what I want to try and make. Maybe I shouldn't like give away the secret or whatever. Married Children theme song theme. So, you know, you've seen that video I've made with like Married to Children with the opening. I wanted to get this part here. Hold on. Yeah, this. Okay, so... Oh, it's really bad. This is like filmed with a potato, but whatever. You get what I mean. All right, so I want to put the Pope's face on oh my gosh, I forget her name, on the wife, right? And just like have it follow her around as she runs. And each person, like, you know, it's a different Jesuit organization, like the Jesuit Refugee Service, CIA, you know, and this is the American government. Like Al Bundy is like the American government. So he'll have like, you know, maybe the White House or something like that on his chest. I'll put something like that on there. And then I'll have the face of Pope Francis right here on her the whole time, especially when she does like the running around like this, like when she does that run around. And obviously it'll be with a better video. And she does this little run around. And so I want like a cutout of the Pope smiling and giving a kiss on the end when he gives the money.
Was told by mother,
like, yeah.
You can't have one without the other.
I don't know. I think that's what I'm going to do for that one. So like when we find a Jesuit in our digs, when we go digging for different organizations, we'll do that. And when we find a little hat, we'll play the other one. Peg Bundy. There you go, Peggy. It's been so long since I actually watched Married with Children. Married to Children. Sorry. That's funny. It's perfect for the Jesuits. Ron Germany says, hi, friends. Does he really? Pope Peggy. Yeah. Someone give me another link there also. But yeah, if you're good at like making those like cutouts and stuff like that, because I'm not the best at it. I just use like a magic marker on the 3D paint. And I'm not very good with image creating. I'm more into video. Join the Discord.
Fuck Joe Biden. Fuck Ukraine. Where's Gonzalo Lira? Fuck those Ukrainian Nazi motherfuckers. Gonzalo, where are you? Fuck Ukraine. Zelensky, you evil fucking Nazi cocksucking motherfucker. Lira better be okay, you son of a bitch. Fucking long live Gonzalo. Long live Russia. Long live Putin. Fuck Ukraine. Fuck Zelensky, the Nazi dick-sucking motherfucker. Fuck you, Zelensky. You dick-sucking, Nazi-loving motherfucker. Fuck you.
That's based. It's very, very unclean language. But based. Yeah. I want Gonzalo back too, man. I want him back. Jeez. Oh, man. Okay, hold on. One Day Ago's got some stuff too. Nice. Thank you. Hold on. You got another one there too? Yes. So I'll need... Nice. Okay. He's such a goober. Cops cartoon
Cops, Central Organization of Police Specialists. Fighting crime in a future time. Protecting Empire City from Big Boss and his gang of crooks.
Oh, did the invite expire? Hold on. It shouldn't have. Hold on. Okay, that one should work. Well, why did we see that? I don't know why that was posted, but interesting. Crime fighting time. The one the bot posted just worked. Okay. Oh, I don't see the bot. That's what's going on. So is Nightbot in here? I'm sorry about that, guys. I don't see the bot. I don't know why. I'm gonna have to go shut him off. Oh crap, Nightbot. Yeah, that's been a long time ago. I'll have to fix him up. Yeah, Discord gates are open indeed. Just be careful. Obviously, like, you know how Discord has like different rules. Like, be careful so that you don't get us all banned, or else I have to like kick the stuff that's on it. So please do me a solid. Try and keep it clean, because I know Discord is now cracking down on anybody that goes against the current thing. So, but I mean, like, as long as you're just posting info, it's no big deal. One thing I think that they're really strict on now is medical misinformation. You wouldn't want to go against St. Fauci, but I rarely talk about that stuff because, I mean, it's obvious at this point, right? You know? Let's see. If Gonzalo Lira was killed by Azov, his death will spark an outrage against media. Yeah, and you know what? We need to kick up the fight. We definitely need to put these people in their place, you know. And you can do it. First off, start getting on the phone with these people. Like, with not these people, I mean, like the organizations. Like, call the Daily Beast. Do they have a number that you can reach them? Like, these things have on Twitter where it's public. You know, I'm not talking about calling the people, Susan Wojcicki. I'm not talking about calling the people. I'm talking about these organizations need to hear a mouthful for what they've been doing, targeting. I noticed that Salty Cracker did a video on it. I don't have all that much faith in Salty Cracker, but certainly a lot of eyes on the issue. And he mentioned Sandy Hook. Oh, before I go, did you guys know about this? This was released a little while ago. Did you know that Adam Lanza, the one who purportedly did the Sandy Hook shooting, right? Now, I mean, think of that as you will. Do you know that he did a whole bunch of videos online? They were in black screen, but he basically rants online. Look, and he's got a couple of them on pedophiles and children. And this is an 8-parter. I haven't gone through any of it yet, but it was taken off. It was hiding in YouTube for ages, right? And someone finds it. It resurfaces. It turns out to be Adam Lanza. Okay, and then it gets wiped off the internet. So then someone managed to download it all and re-upload it recently. Like, well, not that recent, October of 2021.
Hello, I'm your host, Philip Greaves Jr., and I'm going to just jump right into this, so I'm sure...
Now, it says Philip Greaves Jr., but from what I'm hearing is that this is Adam Lanza. Okay? I haven't had enough chance to look into it, but all things that I'm reading are pointing to this guy being Adam Lanza. But I'm not sure yet. So check this out. I'll get you the channel, and you can go through it yourself and just look up Cultural Philistine or Adam Lanza YouTube. And some people have been talking about this already. Maybe I'm wrong, because I haven't had enough time to look into it. I just found this like either yesterday or the day before, and I've been looking up so many different things. Get back to me on what you're saying. It all stopped before his supposed rampage. Apparently, this was Adam Lanza, but I don't know. Check it out for yourselves. What else? How many of these goobers that we have? Not people commenting. I mean, some of these guys. Oh, here's a couple other things as well. You know this? Have you seen this dude, bro, lawyer? This guy is so annoying. Robert Gouveia Esquire. Gruler, I think, is his actual last name as well. Gouveia Esquire. So I did a little search on him. Robert Gouveia. And he's out of Arizona. Just real quick. Check this out. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Oh, hold on. Yeah, R&R, that's him. Yeah, there we go. That's him. His prep school was a Jesuit prep school, and he's a Catholic as well. I don't know if this guy covers like, you know, the Ghislaine Maxwell trial and stuff like that, and he screams of limited hangout to me. He's a suicide loss survivor himself. So he's had suicide in his family, beginning to winning. I don't know if it says Phoenix School of Law. It doesn't show it here, but yeah, if you look into his prep school, he went to a Jesuit. There we go. He went to Brophy College Preparatory, an all boys Jesuit high school in downtown Phoenix, and he apparently like excelled there and got picked up as a lawyer. At Brophy, Gruler excelled in his studies, and you know what that means when you excel in your studies as a Jesuit high school. And secured a full scholarship to Arizona State University, which was a big MK Ultra place. And that name, Arizona State, keeps popping up to me now for a lot of different things that I'm digging into. There's a lot of intelligence involvement there. But I know this is really off topic, but just like even all these people that cover the things that you think would be like, what do you call it? Like down our alley for information or whatever. Like they're like Jesuit plants. At least that's what I think about this guy. This is what I expect. Look, Steve Bannon is an amazing patriot. You know, that guy that took that money from Epstein? And he keeps sending us down like every imaginable rabbit hole. Activates the old almonds, percolates the pistachios. I've listened to some of them, been meaning to go back to them, but but there's a lot. Yeah, there are a lot indeed. Suicide survivor. Jesuits love preying on those type of people. There's so many stories of mentorship. Yep, that's what I'm thinking about. Kenneth Feinberg. What's it? Attorney, University of Pennsylvania Law School, which is quite Jesuit infiltrated. Same thing with Columbia, Georgetown University Law Center, the Central Jesuit School, NYU School of Law, Benjamin N. Cardozo, Yeshiva University. Interesting. Yeah, so he's got, right, like, and so you look at Feinberg and you're just like, oh, okay, just Jewish. This is actually a great example, dude. Thank you for this. This is a great example of where you have people, you can just like stop right there and say it's the Jews, right? It's the Jews, right? But when you go into life and career, if it's not just he's Jewish, right? You find Jesuit. Well, these first two are Jesuit, like they're not actually Jesuit schools, but if you start looking into the history of the Jesuits, you'll find them that they're through and through infiltrated to Columbia and University of Pennsylvania. Specifically, Wharton is one thing to look into, but Georgetown is the Jesuit school in America. It's a great example. Thank you, man. Ted Kennedy, I believe, also went to Boston College, didn't he? Oh, no, Harvard. Not much better. Into social justice, I just saw. Champion an interventionist government that emphasize economic and social justice. Social justice. Will they say Luigi's name? Social justice, just real quick, in the coining and definition of the term in the natural law, social scientific treatise of Luigi Tapparelli, S.J. That means, for those that are new here, Society of Jesus, or the Jesuit order, in the 1840s. Tapparelli established a natural law principle that corresponded to the evangelical principle of brotherly love, yada, yada. Okay. So social justice is admittedly created by a Jesuit priest. But we've been here before for a lot of people that are not new. I'm sorry to keep banging on that drum. But yeah, lots of stuff to look into, that kind of stuff. Yeah, Jesuit adjutant. Yeah, close enough. Close enough. Three-letter people have perfected nepotism, indeed. Eat your chicken, Kiev. It's Kiev. Anything else that I've missed? Have I covered Jesuit Feinberg and how? So this is the guy you gave me, and how he somehow gets to deal with all the victim funds. Really? I don't know. I missed all this because I was just looking for my regular stuff. Wasn't sure. So September 11th Victim Compensation Fund, Penn State Settlement. That's the sexual abuse one. Oh yeah. Jerry Sandusky. Okay. Aurora Victim Relief Fund. So the shooting that happened before Sandy Hook and Sandy Hook. Oh, snap. This is the guy. I was trying to remember this guy. Where am I going to put him? Make a new folder for him. IHS. I have it in my other browser, but we're going to start with that. Oh, man. This is a great one, man. So he was part of the Hokie Spirit Memorial Fund, Virginia Tech. Okay, the shooting attacks there. For September 11th. Sandy Hook, Aurora, Penn State Sex Fund or Sex Abuse Scandal. What? Terrorism Compensation Fund. 2016, so around ISIS time. Archdiocese of New York Independent Reconciliation and Recompensation Program. Oh, snap. The sexual abuse with McCarrick and Spellman. The Archbishop of New York, McCarrick, he was before he is now in court. Let's check up on him as well. Oh, maybe he wasn't Archbishop. Oh, he was Auxiliary Bishop of New York. And then Archbishop of Washington. Yes, okay. Yeah. So Archbishop of Washington. But the person that put him in... he was one of the few people that was ordinated by Francis Spellman, who was the head of Vatican II. He presided over Vatican II. And he was the Archbishop of New York. These two names, man, looking at these guys. McCarrick was like best buds with Bono. But yeah, let's get back to that other dude. So he's heading up the Archdiocese of New York Independent Reconciliation and Compensation Program. United Methodist Church. Oh, is he presiding over the split off? Okay, so if you don't know much about what's going on in the United Church in America, they're splitting off. So because they're going woke, many of them are going woke in the United Methodist Church. The conservative people want to leave the United Methodist Church, the UMC, and now he is apparently presiding over this. What? Don't tell me this isn't all related. And this woke stuff, like United is totally infiltrated by Jesuits as well. Same thing with the Episcopal or Anglican Church in Canada. Oh, huge. Man, this guy's been around though, hasn't he? Ain't that something? Thank you very much for bringing that to my attention. Who was that? That was Perfect Standard KJV, man. Thank you very much. Precious Metalstein. Feinberg is his name. Feinberg. But see, that's the thing. It makes you stop at Feinberg. Okay? But he's not, it's not just that he's a little hat. Okay? Nothing on his personal life here. But he's all over Jesuit University, like Georgetown, but you have University of Pennsylvania, which you really need to look into as well for Jesuit infiltration. Same thing with Columbia. Huge, huge, huge. Like, one would be content to stop at just saying, yeah, he's a little hat. But it's much more than that. Oh, okay, I got some digging to do. This is like bingo when you get all the squares. Yeah. 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 Exactly. I'll worship Wikipedia. Well, listen, I if I want to go digging, right? If I want to actually go digging, I won't be on Wikipedia. But if I want like a quick rundown for like starting terms and stuff like that, I'll tend to check in there because there's a, you know, it's the most populated like wiki, like I don't know what you'd call it, online encyclopedia that people can contribute to, right? So I don't mind starting with it, right? But if I want to keep going into something, I branch off from there, start going into the sources and things like that. A lot of people stop at the name in early life. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Once, and often it's set up so that like they'll usually write down, because his name is obviously Jewish, right? But they will, if it's not so obviously Jewish, they'll write down he was born to a Jewish family. Like, it's usually like the first thing, right? And in my opinion, I really think it was the Jesuits. Another one that I show people is, if you go to Adam Weishaupt, who was the founder of the Bavarian Illuminati, out of Ingolstadt, by the way. Ingolstadt University was where he taught, which was a Jesuit school. Just to let you know. But look, in the first one here, Adam Weishaupt was born in the 6th, or on the 6th of January, February 1748 in Ingolstadt in the Electorate of Bavaria. Many have suggested his family were of Jewish origin, and there's no like proof in these things. It's just many have suggested. Like, this had to go here, did it? Many have suggested. This is like the ultimate weasel word. Or weasel wording, probably better off to say. But if you go into where he taught and where he studied, University of Ingolstadt, and I look up real quick. The Illuminati movement was founded in Ingolstadt by Jesuit taught Adam Weishaupt, who was the first lay professor of canon law at the University of Ingolstadt. And if you go further into, there's 6 hits of Jesuits. The Jesuits, you see them, they talk more about it in other articles, to be honest with you, but they talk about how they leave during the Enlightenment. Until the university finally became so secular that the greatest influence in Ingolstadt was Adam Weishaupt, founder of the secret society of the Illuminati. But they didn't need to be there once they have Weishaupt in, right? This is what they do, like, because they're so secular anyways. When they're not esoteric as heck, Jesuits, they're secular. There's nothing Christian about them or anything. Yeah, they started this school. They headed this school until the Enlightenment, and they left once they had Weishaupt in. Modern successor of Bavaria's oldest university is the WFI, Ingolstadt School of Management, founded in 1899 as part of the Catholic University of Eichstätt, Ingolstadt. I can't say it. One of Germany's foremost business schools. Catholic University. Yeah. And this is why I don't like just rush to slam the little hats. I'll have a laugh with it, of course, because there's many of them to be found, indeed. But I think they're just as much the targets of propaganda from these people as we are. And I think they need us separated. Yeah. Anyways, anything else before I go, guys? Let's see. A widow spit on him, base. So you think this guy is in the business of molding social law and connected to the crimes that allow him to do so? Yes, he's a cover-up point for that. Also for the billions of dollars taken from the people, like Hurricane Katrina or Haiti. Hundreds of millions of dollars didn't make it to anyone. Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's a good point. I think what this guy will do, I mean, obviously funneling money, that's one thing. Oversaw distribution of $50 million to support 737 MAX crash victims' families. For one, anyways. One fun, one victim. Boston Marathon bombings. We didn't even get into that. The BP Deepwater Horizon. So this guy is like a whitewasher man, and he directs the damage fallout. This is what it looks like to me. Yeah, this is huge, man. This is a great drop. Thank you. Zelensky and the Pandora Papers. Indeed. I got something on that already. Let me see what I can get for you. You will never be a woman. I got this at the moment. If you guys want to go through it yourselves. This is regarding Zelensky. Do 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 do. There you go. Alex Jones won't tell you that they were Jesuits. No, he doesn't really like talking about that, does he? He will always point without a finger to the little hats. And again, there's many of them to point to. I'm not saying that there isn't. But you almost never hear him talk about the Catholic Church. Specifically, there's some more subversive elements, like the Jesuits, the Franciscans. They just act like the church has been overrun by evil. That's when that's what they talk about. Like they've been infiltrated by evil. It was like, no, they always have been. Majin, I've got to head out. Very interesting stream. You're a real one. Good to have you, man. It's good to have you. It was interesting. Very, very cool chat. I liked it tonight. Never underestimate the three-letter people. They're not all bad, but they have to keep their feathers together to keep the bird flying. Yes, that is one point to point out. There's a group mentality within it, right? It's yeah, and I get you. I get you. I'm not dismissing that. There is a group mentality. There's a hive mind that is in with many of them, and anybody that doesn't share that gets what do they call it? Self-hating Jew, right? All that stuff is that conditioning is very prevalent in the society, you know. Alex Jones did presentation at Catholic University back in the day. It was scrubbed quick back then. Oh. Also, he's rubbing elbows with Sheen, Jesuit Catholics. Are the Sheens? Imagine my shock when they're talking about bi-winning. Are you bisexual? I'm bi-winning. What would that go back to? Like Emilio Estevez as well? Sheen, Jesuit. What if I just say Sheen, Jesuit? Huh. Billy Graham was trained under Jesuit Fulton Sheen. Now, again, I haven't looked this up, okay? So this could just be a bunch of BS. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know who Jim Duke is. It's already sketchy, but Hold on. This is where they get the name Sheen. Carlos Irwin Estevez, a.k.a. Charlie Sheen. Martin took the stage name Sheen after Bishop Fulton Sheen. All right, let's look this up then. Bishop Fulton Sheen. Teo Carm. Third Order of Lady of Mount Carmel. Sixtus the Fourth. Not necessarily Jesuit. Hold on. I'm not too... I don't know too much about this order, to be honest with you. They could have been taken over, but not necessarily Jesuit, is it? No hits there. He was interred in the crypt of St. Patrick's Cathedral near the deceased archbishops of New York, including Cardinal Spellman. Pope Paul VI. Denounced the Vietnam War. We have an instance where Spellman, who was a Jesuit, discouraging clergy from befriending the bishop. Falling out with him, okay. Definitely something to look into. Is a long stop, but in any case, definitely Catholic. Definitely much stronger ties to the Catholic Church these Sheens have than what I realized. Although I should have known. And certainly the degeneracy in that family of any Jesuit. Yeah. It is obvious they're trying to legitimize pedophilia. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. It is very, very obvious. Or at least groom people into accepting it. Yeah. I will finish off with the old... I've played it a couple times before, but I don't have it on my channel. This is My Shadow and Me, the Jesuit Order and Jeffrey Epstein, any connections that there might be, and the people around them. I want to thank everybody for coming out today.
And one of their congregations, General Meeting of Jesuits, they decided as an order that would be their focus. Social justice. That's our main focus.
We've got us. We're closer than pages that stick in a book. We're closer than ripples that play in a brook. Wherever you'll find him, you'll find me, just look. Closer than a miser or the bloodhound's Deliza me.
We're closer than smog when it clings to L.A. We're closer than Bobby is to JFK. Not a soul can bust this team in two. We stick together like glue, and when it's a sleeping time,
that's when we rise.
We start to swing,
swing to the sky.
Our clocks don't chime.
Want a surprise? They ring. A ding ding, a happy new year.
I grew up in a Catholic home. I still consider myself a practicing Catholic. My mom's great uncle was a Jesuit priest. And in my high school, Ursuline Academy, the nuns made service and social justice a high priority in the school.
Before we get finished, we'll make the town roar. We'll make all the late spots and then a few more. We'll wind up at Jilly's right after Toots Shore. Life is gonna be a wee wow wee for my shadow and me.
Say, Frank.
What is it, Sam?
Would you do me a favor?
What do you want now?
Would you mind just taking it one more time?
From the top?
No, from the ending.
Wonderful. And while we are swinging, to mention a few, we'll drop in at Danny's, the little club too. But wind up at Jilly's, whatever we do, life is gonna be a wee wow wee for my shadow and me.
Come on, man. Puerto Rico, life-saving supplies just sitting in a warehouse.
Certainly, I think we're all aware that a Prime Minister...
Frank.
Oh, forget it, Sam.
All right.
All right, everybody, have a good night.